Hi, my name is Faith Lilly, and today we'll be talking about the 2018 Facebook scandal. How would you feel if a company was using your personal information to harvest data for the betterment of their marketing team? I know I wouldn't feel very happy about that, and the 87 million users that it affected sure were not happy about it. The Facebook scandal of 2018 affected, like I said, 87 million users. Maybe you're one of them and you didn't even know. So, what is the Facebook scandal of 2018? And how could an app possibly affect my day to day life? I heard about this when I was in high school, but I didn't have a Facebook at the time, so I didn't pay much attention. But after getting a Facebook account, I really wanted to make sure that I understood everything about this topic. So I researched it heavily and made sure I understand the basis of what happened. First, today, we will be going over what exactly occurred in this scandal. Then we will look at what Facebook's reaction to it was and what few statements we have from Facebook. Also, lastly, we will look at the overall outcome for Facebook and what prices they have to pay. So, what exactly did happen? Jason Ambrosie and Jasmine Bryce with New York NBC News reported that on March 19th, Cambridge Analytica scandal breaks and kickstarts a broader concern for what kind of access companies have to Facebook's data. Leading up to this article, the article also addresses that German and Belgian courts find Facebook guilty for misusing privacy laws. This scandal has already just started and affected people all around the world. Nicholas Confessor, a New York Times, states that on March 21st, Facebook's top security official had left the company, probably because he knew everything was about to hit the fan. Confessor also reports that the Cambridge Analytica data scandal breaks and everything starts moving a lot faster. By March 26th, the Federal Trade Commission says they are starting to investigate Facebook privacy policies. By April comes around, Facebook released that 87 million people were impacted. Maybe you are one of the people that's data and personal information was harvested. Confessor also states that by April 10th, Mark Zuckerberg testifies before court for 4 hours and 54 minutes. It is then reported that in July, Facebook is under federal investigation. The BBC reports that Zuckerberg states in a press conference that we're not just building tools, but we need to take full responsibility for the outcome of how people use these tools as well. So, will he? Now we'll be looking at Facebook's response to all of this. The responses from Facebook were very few. That is to consider it was a federal investigation, and I don't think Mark Zuckerberg is on Twitter talking about it a ton. According to Paulo Zaccatia with NPR Radio, as part of the agreement, Facebook made no admission for liability. It will also remain the document disclosed during the appeal to use in its own investigation with the Cambridge Analytica. Zaccatia also quotes Facebook Associate General Counsel Harry Kinmoth. He states that protecting people's information and privacy is a top priority at Facebook, and we will be continuing to build new controls to help protect and manage people's information. BBC quotes Mr. Zuckerberg next. It is reasonable to expect that if you had the default settings turned on in the last several years, that someone has probably accessed your data and your public information for their own personal use. According to BBC, Facebook has been looking into decisions for protecting information from this point forward. But will Facebook make any changes from this point forward? And also, have they? Since now it is 2021. Finally, we will look at the outcome. According to NPR, Facebook agreed to pay a fine of $643,000 to the UK's Information Commissioner Office. NBC News reports that Mark states he will be making security settings more accessible for everyone's use. Throughout the year, Facebook lost tons of money in stock. They also lost many people that had their own apps that supported Facebook, and also lost head executives at Facebook. Do you think Facebook paid the price that was equal for what they did? Or do you think Facebook's in the blame at all? Do you think Facebook is at fault for this scandal, even though millions of users were affected by it? Or do you think it was more on the side of the Cambridge Analytica? In my speech today, we have evaluated the timeline of Facebook's scandal. We have looked at the responses, and we have also looked at the outcomes, which were very few. So, as we close up, I think from learning all of this that privacy is really important, and I will definitely be looking into my Facebook settings to make sure this doesn't keep happening to other people. I do not think Facebook paid the ultimate price for what they did. They only had to pay a couple fines from what I could find. And yes, they lost revenue, but they're a multi-billion-dollar company. And I don't think it's probably going to hurt them very much to lose a couple millions. Thank you for listening today. Have a great day.